So I will call the public session to order. We have a quorum at long last. This meeting is being webcast live and recorded. The recording or webcast may capture images and sounds of those attending the meeting. We have a number of closed session items. We have recommended expulsions, recommended reinstatements, public employee assignment, reassignment, appointment, public employee discipline, dismissal, release, and complaints, conference with labor negotiator, conference with legal counsel, existing litigation, and anticipated litigation. On that, 7 matters involve facts and circumstances that might result in litigation against the district, but which facts and circumstances are not yet known to the potential plaintiff or plaintiffs. Public comment on any closed session item will now be heard at this time. Pursuant to board policy, the board may limit individual comments to no more than 3 minutes and individual topics to 20 minutes. It is recommended you begin your comments by stating your name. Do we have any public comment? Seeing none. We anticipate that closed session will take approximately 1 hour. However, if additional time is required, the regular session may be called to order after 5:30 p.m. The board will now adjourn to closed session. Okay, we will now convene the regular session. Alondra Moran will serve as the Spanish interpreter for this meeting. Meeting attendees who would like to listen to the Spanish interpretation of the proceedings, please pick up headphones from the table located in the back of this room. This announcement will now be shared in Spanish.
Alondra Morán servirá como intérprete al español para esta reunión. Invitamos a los asistentes de la reunión que deseen escuchar la interpretación al español, el ir por audífonos a la mesa ubicada al fondo de esta sala de reuniones. Gracias.
This meeting is being webcast live and recorded. The recording or webcast may capture images and sounds of those attending the meeting. Members of the public who would like to provide public comment on items listed on tonight's agenda, we recommend you fill out the public comment form, the green form, located on the table at the northeast entrance to the room. Please hand the completed form to Executive Assistant Leisha Weatherford, who is in the back of the room with her hand raised, before the item comes up. She is in the back of the room. We recommend you complete a separate form for each agenda item on which you would like to comment. Members of the public providing public comment, please use the microphone on the stand located in the front of the room. Next, we will have Board Member Jackie Gaby lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand. The board took one action in closed session. In closed session, on a motion by Board Member Belt and a second by Board Member Gamoyan, the board agreed on a vote of 5 yes, no nays, and 2 absent. The 2 members being absent are Ken DeYoung and Randy Villegas, to approve the settlement agreement for case OAH number 202-602-0378. Revisions to enclosure items and adoption of the board meeting agenda. There are revised item enclosures 5.1, 5.2, 5.3, 7.26, 7.28, 7.29, 11.1, 11.3, 11.5, 11.6, 11.7, 11.8, 11.9, 11.10, and 11.11. Do I have a motion to adopt the board meeting agenda?
So moved.
Moved by Ms. Naylor.
I'll second.
Second by Ms. Gaby. Please vote.
Motion carries 5 yes, 2 absent.
Okay. Next up, public recognition. Introducing Deputy Superintendent Mark Thompson.
Good evening, Board President Odo, board members. Tonight we are going to celebrate our spring athletics. Typically we bring VAPA, visual and performing arts, and sports at the same time. This time we'll be just spring athletics, as we completed for this year all of our awards for visual and performing arts. At this time, I'd like to hand it over to our Director of Athletics, John Perez.
Thank you, Mr. Thompson. Good evening, Board President Odo, Superintendent Shrum, parents, coaches, and members of the community. Tonight, I have the privilege of recognizing Visalia Unified District's outstanding spring sports teams and individual student athletes for their dedication and accomplishments this past season. Before we begin tonight, I would like to take a moment to acknowledge and thank the many individuals who support our student athletes along the way, parents, family members, coaches, teachers, and friends. Your commitment and encouragement play a tremendous role in the success of our programs and in the lives of these young people. Additionally, many of our student athletes may not be in attendance tonight, as they are already participating in summer practices for next season, preparing for college athletics or academics, entering the workforce, or beginning new opportunities after graduation. First up, we have Redwood High School section champions or state qualifiers. On Saturday, May 23rd, the CIF Central section hosted the Masters Championships at Veterans Memorial Stadium in Clovis. More than 8 high schools from throughout the Central section competed in 17 events for boys and girls, showcasing some of the top track and field athletes in the section. Qualifying athletes from this meet advanced to compete at the 106th CIF State Track and Field Championships on May 29th and 30th at Veterans Memorial Stadium. Tonight, we are proud to recognize outstanding track and field athletes from Redwood, whose performances at the Masters Championships earned them qualification to the CIF State Championships. Competing against elite competition from across the Central section, the Redwood boys team finished 3rd overall, while the girls team earned a 4th place finish. The Rangers are led by head coach Isaac Lepke. And please join me in recognizing the following Redwood Rangers for their outstanding achievements. As I state your name, if you could please just step forward. Wyatt Ruby, CIF Central section champion in the 110-meter hurdles, and he earned a 5th place medal at the state championships. Jordan Powell, CIF Central section champion in the shot put and a state qualifier. Austin Alcantara, CIF section champion in the triple jump, earned a 4th place medal at the state championships. Gracie Serpa, 2nd place finisher, and earned an 8th place medal at the state championships. Jairus Brooks, 5th place finisher and state qualifier. And the boys 4x4 relay team of Luke Sanchez, Jairus Brooks, London Butler, and Troy Harris, 3rd place finishers and state qualifiers. And the 4x800 team, 2nd in Division I, Zachary Vargas, James Gagnon, Corbin Kirby, and Jake Areola. Again, a round of applause for Redwood's track team, and they'll take a picture at this time. You guys might have to, you need them to scoot in, half and half.
Let's, can we do churros? Is that possible? And then get in between people's heads so that you're in the picture. Should be able to see the camera. Great. 1, 2, 3. Oh, that's adorable. Thank you.
Next, also from Redwood, the boys golf team. Redwood earned the 25-26 Spring Academic Award for boys golf. Redwood made the top 5 in 5 sports. Leading the way was boys golf with a 3.82 team GPA. 2nd, boys tennis. 2nd, boys swim and diving. 3rd, girls swimming and diving. And 5th in baseball. In accordance with the state CIF example, unweighted grades determine section team academic awards, and Redwood's first place award will be submitted to the CIF state office for state consideration. And team members, Drew Acosta, Evan Isaacs, Bo Kraus, Brody LeBeau, Tanner Nahahara, Alexander Gonzalez, Hunter Vargas, Coach Brad Pendergast, and Athletic Director Michael Wright. Again, a round of applause to Redwood Boys Golf Team.
Take a couple steps to your left. Perfect. 1, 2.
Again, thank you, gentlemen. Next from Redwood, the softball team. After finishing as the EYL League champions and winning over 20 games, the Rangers entered the Division II CIF Central Section Playoffs seeded number 3, where they defeated Paso Robles 10-0, Selma 3-0, number 2 seed Kingsburg 5-1, and number 1 seed Garces 1-0 to win the CIF Central Section Division II championships. With their victory, the Rangers qualified for the state regional championships, where they defeated Birmingham High School in Los Angeles 5-2 before losing to eventual regional champion Riverside Prep 4-3 in the semifinals. Team members here: Cassidy Ashford, Mackenzie Cantu, Kennedy Cooper, Juliana Gasca, Ava Gonzalez, Aubrey Jenkins, Mackenzie King, Jaden Lopez, Carson Mancada, Harper Morales, C.D. Pires, Jackie Ramirez, Kyrie Rodriguez, Rhea Rodriguez, Jasmine Romero Torres, Alyssa Vasquez, Emily Webster, Coach Stevie Johnson, and Athletic Director Michael Wright. Again, a round of applause to the Redwood softball team. Congratulations, ladies. They've done this before.
No. Makes me like, okay, great. 1, 2.
Again, congratulations. Okay, next up is Golden West diver Mateo Sanchez Chavez. This is obviously not Mateo. This is Coach Greg. But I did want to recognize Mateo. He actually has a job interview tonight. We kind of talked about that. Mateo captured the CIF Central Section Division II championships. He qualified for the state CIF championships. His impressive season also included winning the EYL League diving championships and earning a first-place finish at the Golden West Invitational. He concluded his remarkable career by qualifying for the state championships all 4 years of high school competition. And this is Golden West head coach Dustin Gregg. So congratulations. Please share our congratulations with Mateo. Next from El Diamante, the Super Smash Brothers Ultimate and the Mario Kart 8 teams. El Diamante's esports program has proven to be one of the top teams in the section every year, and this year is no different. The Super Smash Brothers Ultimate team advanced to the quarterfinals at the National Play VS Cup Championships, and the Mario Kart 8 team advanced to the semifinals of the National Play VS Cup Championships. The SSBU team here: Tasman Fifield, Nathan Hardy, Rick Maxwell, Jaden Gray, and the Mario Kart 8 team is Brandon Carter, Carly D. Ramo, Nick Guerrero, Evan Nave, Francisco Lemus, Nathan Hardy, Sonny Sanchez, Ryan Sandman, and esports coach is JC Marquez, and athletic director Dr. Kimberly Watamura. Again, a round of applause for these. I'm sure we'll be seeing them again next year. Finally, the El Diamante girls track team. After finishing second in the EYL by only a half a point, the Miners continued their amazing season by winning the CIF Central Section Division II championships decisively, scoring 111 points, with second place Monachi only scoring 60. Yeah. The Miners had 5 first place finishes at the Division II championships, winning the 400 meter, the 1600 meter, the 100 meter, 300 meter hurdles, and the 4x4 relay. Team members, Brooklyn, and again, you think this is her like 20th time here, I'd say her name, Bawanan. She was the runner-up Masters champion in the 300 meter hurdles and state qualifier. Kaimeli Bawanan, Denai Presidio Bernal, Ambro Horn, Isabella Vasquez, Papi Cheney, Sinai Bobadilla, Zoe Cheney, Hannah Doglonsky, Annalise Ramirez, Gracia Avalos, Amora de Ocio, Alina Celis, Allison Rocha Calderon, Patricia Gonzalez, Savannah Hannah Cortez, Cadence Griffith, and track coaches here, Kim Tucker, assistant coaches Madison Gonzalez, and Pete Murrieta, and Dr. Wardamura, athletic director. Again, a round of applause. One more set. Hold on. Sorry.
Sorry.
I did want to take a moment to share with you an incredible history that was made for El Diamante this year. Last fall, the El Diamante girls cross country team earned a CIF Central Section championship and became the first cross country team from LD to compete at the state. In the winter, the girls soccer team won a CIF Central Section Division II championship and earned a state playoff berth for the first time in school history. And tonight we recognize the girls track and field team and their CIF Central Section Division II championships. This is important because we have 8 amazing athletes that have also made history in these teams' wins. As I call your name, if you can please step forward if you're in attendance. Papi Cheney, soccer and track. Hannah Doglonsky, cross country and track. Amora de Ocio, soccer and track. And Denai Presidio Bernal, cross country and track. They earned 2 championships this year. What a great accomplishment. Brooklyn Bawanan, Kaimeli Bawanan, Zoe Cheney, and Izzy Vasquez were part of all 3 championship teams. And finally, head coach Kim Tucker was the head coach for both cross country and track teams. Congratulations, ladies. Now you, David.
Okay, great. Sorry, everyone take one step to your left. Sorry. There you go. There you go. You're good. You're good. You're perfect. 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you.
Again, congratulations to all athletes tonight. Parents and athletes, you are more than welcome to stay for the remainder of the board meeting. However, if you'd like to take this time to celebrate with your athlete, I encourage you to do so now. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Perez. Item 5.1, spotlight on good things happening in the district. Superintendent Schrum.
Thank you, President Odo, and congratulations to all of our athletes. And obviously, as we're now moving into summer, this will be our last spotlight until the end of the summer, where we will pick up with all of the things happening over the summer. You'll hear a report in a few minutes because we have a busy summer, even though we're out of school, and so we'll share some of those things that are happening then. And also, obviously, our student entertainment tonight, as we're out of school, that will pick back up in the fall too, because I know we all enjoy seeing our students and their talents. So as we wrapped up the school year, a lot of amazing things happening at our sites, starting with Lego robotics competition. We had several elementary schools participate in this, and our very own Crowley team brought home second place. And they did a phenomenal job with building, coding, and completing missions in their Lego bot. And I don't know if we have any members of that team here, I think why don't you all please stand up? And just so I can see, you've got Lego shirts there as well. Yeah. So thank you so much for supporting and sponsoring. Well, some of that's okay. You're still part of the team. But congratulations and thank you all for being here tonight for this recognition. Congratulations. You get first place next year, right? First place next year. First place next year.
Yes.
No, you all did awesome. Good job. And board, I want to also mention, one of the things that we put in the budget a few years ago that all of our comprehensive sites receive is advanced learning funds. And that was something that schools can use to utilize to support programs like this or others at their site discretion. And so we appreciate our Crowley team for being here tonight. Continuing to our community partnerships. So again, really proud of our community, and especially one that's familiar to many of our board, Neighborhood Church. It's our district's first formal community partnership out of our community schools in Visalia. They have a neighborhood degree program where students are celebrated for reaching key educational milestones, promoting from 6th to 8th grade, as well as high school and college graduation. 19 high school seniors were recognized that will graduate this year and have been accepted into college or trade school. And over the past 5 years, this partnership has mentored 87 students who have gone on to attend college or trade school. And this year, 11 students who participated in the program will earn their college degrees, demonstrating the long-term impact of this partnership. So thank you to our community partner, Neighborhood Church. Mountain View Elementary hosted a family literacy night. They had Latin Grammy-winning musician and author Lucky Diaz for a day of music, storytelling, and literacy, providing a unique educational experience for our dual language immersion students. The visit gave the students an opportunity to see their language and culture reflected in the literature and arts, reinforcing the value of bilingualism and multicultural learning. This evening event brought together families, students, and the community to celebrate this event. Our third annual Tulare County Pursuing Victory with Honor program. This program recognizes student athletes who demonstrate exceptional character. The USD students have been part of forming this for a while now, the third year. It's celebrating leadership and sportsmanship both on and off of the field. Congratulations to students from our high schools, LD, Mount Whitney, Redwood, who were recognized during the event. Continuing with our students, our 2026 character counts. KSEE, you see this on the news every so often, and the Tulare County Office of Education honored students whose stories were featured this year. We've had them in our spotlight, but this was the event where they all come together, where it recognizes outstanding character amongst our school. Nearly a quarter of the students celebrated during the event were from Visalia Unified, from schools such as Ivanhoe, Pinkham, Washington, VTech High School, and the adult school. Special thank you to all our educators who share these stories. They are nominated, and so we appreciate our staff recognizing our students. Lots of events many of us participated in. Our career technology education, from culinary arts to skilled trades and business pathways, our students gained valuable real-world experience through hands-on career-connected learning opportunities. One such event, Mount Whitney took over their culinary arts team, took over the front and back of the house operations at Bistro de Bufala, applying skills in food preparation, teamwork, problem solving, and adaptability in a real-world restaurant setting. I can say firsthand that they did a very, very good job. Students from Golden West and Redwood competed in the College of the Sequoias welding competition. Golden West's Ethan Butts earning first place and a $1,000 scholarship from the AWS Central Valley section. And then Business and Finance Academy students visited Visalia Mall, Cal Apparel for behind-the-scenes tours focused on operations, business development, entrepreneurship, and the importance of strong customer relations. So thank you to our team. Too many to even mention all of them, but so many events that our CTE team put together to help support our students in their pathway preparation or as evidence their future career opportunities, whether that's going into the workforce, trade school, or into a four-year college. Our FFA banquets also occur this time of year. We look forward to these events every year. It gives families the opportunity to celebrate students. Thank you to our teachers, our students for their hard work as they prepare to become leaders, and that's evident through the work that they produce in their clubs. As we share each year, many of our clubs here in Visalia reach state recognition levels as well. Also, at this time of year, our scholarships, almost $1 million were awarded to students during annual scholarship nights at our schools. This is twice as many scholarships as were awarded last year. So thank you. Huge shout out to our community partners, donors, PTAs, local organizations, and others who help make all these scholarships possible. Another highlight of the spring are all of the performances where our students come together from across our schools, across our grade levels, our band, choir, and orchestral performances that take place down at the Convention Center. A wide variety of our secondary student ensembles, band, choir, choral, orchestra performances. Also our fourth grade students, which is always one of the highlights each year as they perform. This year it was selections inspired by the Sons of the San Joaquin, demonstrating early musical development skills. And then it culminated with a performance featuring over 2,000 attendees per show as students from all of our schools showed their talents. Always a great event. New this year to that event was an added visual and performing arts art exhibition. And so alongside the music festival and on a separate night, but the art was available, folks could go, and we hosted our first inaugural visual arts exhibition from student work across the district. Each teacher had to contribute up to 10 pieces, showcasing a wide range of creativity and talent. Emma Sloan, a ninth grader at El Diamante High School, received Best in Show honors from a panel of educators and professional artists. Lastly, that same month, El Diamante Media Arts Showcase also took place as part of the Linked Learning Academy. 3 senior filmmaking students premiered original films at the Fox Theater, highlighting storytelling, creativity, and technical skill. Congratulations to all of these students for their hard work. Also had a chance to attend the art exhibition, and it's just amazing to see the talent. And so many of those pieces, I heard people that, I wish we could buy this. It was such a professional exhibit of work from our students. So continuing with proud of our students, VUSD again hosted our Special Olympics a few weeks ago at Golden West High School. Around 200 students from VUSD, Tulare County Office of Education, and Adult Day programs participated in the event. We have such talented individuals who were awarded medals after each event, and also a yearly event that we have at Golden West. Really proud of all of our staff and teachers that volunteer and families that come to this. It's a great community event, and already looking forward to next year. Our elementary volleyball tournament is part of our ELOP, Extended Learning Opportunity Program. All 27 elementary schools participated in this. Over 200 students played for the day, and Oak Grove captured the championship by defeating Linwood 2-1 in an exciting match. They're all winners, though, of course. And the volleyball tournament marked the final elementary athletic event of the year. So over the course of the year, they've participated in flag football, soccer, basketball, wiffle ball, track, field, and volleyball. And what's great about this is this all helps our students have experiences as they think about their talents when they think about middle school, high school, or what they might like to pursue. Mount Whitney football, on Memorial Day, members of the Mount Whitney football program volunteered alongside community members to honor the men and women who made the ultimate sacrifice in service to our country. Football players arrived early in the morning to assist with the placement of more than 2,500 American flags, creating a powerful tribute to our nation's fallen heroes. This annual team experience provides students an opportunity to strengthen their team bond while giving back to the community and reflecting the true meaning of Memorial Day. Also proud each year, a great event, and the weather was perfect for this year. We held our annual service awards at our district office. This year across the district, we had 247 employees celebrating a total of over 5,615 years of service. We're lucky to have such a dedicated team who keeps our mission at the center of their work. Also for our staff, certificated and classified, we held an all-staff employee appreciation night at the baseball team because we know there's so many recognitions. We want to give our staff an opportunity to bring their families and come together to celebrate our annual staff appreciation event. We originally had reserved 800 tickets. We had such a great turnout. We received an additional allotment and ended up over 1,000 tickets going to our employees and families. 2 of our employees of the year got to throw out the first pitch, and a student from El Diamante sang the national anthem. So a great event, and thank you to our board and sponsors for recognizing our staff and making this event possible. As we get into our end of the year ceremonies, we have our adult school hosted their vocational nursing pinning ceremony in May. Students received certifications also for CTE as well. from custodial to medical billing and coding to industrial maintenance, and really proud of these students who will be entering potentially the workforce or continuing their education. Obviously, the culminating event of 13 years of school comes together at graduation, and so congratulations to all. We have many staff sitting up here and in the audience who had students walk across the stage this year, so congratulations to them. But thousands of our students walked across the stage over the course of a week at LJ Williams and/or at the stadium. And thank you to our staff, families, mentors, everyone that impacts a student's life to get them to this point. Congratulations to the class of 2026. Also want to give a huge shout out to our facilities, maintenance, custodial grounds teams. It's a huge effort. Our safety and security team, the city, all come together to really make this event happen. And so a lot of work and effort goes into these ceremonies happening. And so I just want to show and share our appreciation to all of those involved in making an event like this happen. Residency meets and greets. This time of year, we begin preparing for the next. Our Visalia Teacher Residency Program is going to welcome 30 highly qualified residents into VUSD for their teacher residency this fall. So these 30 residents, 30 of our VUSD teacher mentors attended a meet and greet to establish a strong working relationship. We look forward to partnering, continuing this work with Fresno State and Fresno Pacific as we kick off Cohort 3. And each year, as the board knows, as a district, we focus on certain key themes. And as we do that, we always go to our student advisories and we take our strategic plan and those themes and we ask them, what does this mean to you as a student? And so each year, you might notice outside every school, you'll see a banner that has the year's theme. And schools and teachers use that, and we use it at the district as well. And so this year, out of kind of our district focus and our strategic plan, you'll see the three colors there that represent each section of our strategic plan. The students drew out the main pieces will be about learning, connecting, and caring. And so we'll see that theme as we go through this year, and really excited, appreciate our students for their support and helping bring this information together. And that helps serve as some of our guiding priorities for the 26-27 school year. So you'll see that outside of every school and reflected in the swag and some of those other things and the school themes as well. So thank you to our students' advisories that helped connect the district strategic plan to what does that mean at the school level and as a student. A lot, again, happening this time of year, and these are all things in social media that were spotlighted, meaning there were activities at schools or within our district that reflected these events. They include California Day of the Teacher, Mental Health Awareness Month, our District Advisory Committee, our Classified School Employee Week, National Speech Language Pathologist Day, VUSD Recruitment Careers, Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month, TK Summer Roundup, our CAP Countdown Update, Memorial Day, CAP Countdown Continues, our Community Blueprint update on our strategic plan, Staff Appreciation Night at the Rawhide. I think that's Deputy Superintendent there. Our CAP Countdown Continuing and Pride Month. So those are all the events that were spotlighted in social media and had corresponding activities in our district. And so with that, I conclude our final spotlight for the 25-26 school year.
Okay, thank you, Superintendent Schrum. Next item, 5, please. Next item, 5.2, Strategic Plan Year 1 Biennial Report. Back to the podium, Deputy Superintendent Mark Thompson.
As we're getting that up, good evening, Board President Odo, board members. This evening, I'm excited to provide you with our Strategic Plan Year 1 Biannual Report. This report is centered on our work completed for the first 2 quarters of 25-26 school year in Year 1. So this is really is the second part of this school year. So we did one here in January. This will be our second one. This is inconsistent with that bottom right-hand corner on our main slide here about Forward 2030, which is our focus on our strategic plan. This is our blueprint for the future. You as a board went out to our community and was very transparent with them and talked with them on what they were looking for and what they needed, and you created your core beliefs and commitments along with our mission and vision statement. And in response to that, as a district, we provided a strategic plan. In that strategic plan, we laid out over the next 5 years what we will be working on, what actions we will be focused on. And tonight I come to you on that bottom part where you see that fuchsia colored box there at the bottom about alignment and accountability. And what I'm going to share with you tonight is about progress indicators, metrics. Basically, that is that, are we doing the work that we said we were going to do on each of those actions? So that's what I'm going to provide you tonight and show that for you. This slide shows our strategic plan reporting process. Twice a year, we will provide you, the board, and our community in a biannual report in January and June on the work that was accomplished, along with how the work affects our students and families' access to a quality educational experience. In addition, the reports listed are all posted on USD.org's website for our board, community, and staff and students to review. That is, this one that I'm currently presenting tonight has been uploaded this morning. This right here is our cover page for our biennial status report. Each photo on the cover page, each time we update them, they represent one of our 3 themes, which is on the left-hand side is high expectations, high achievement. The middle one is empowering students and families in our community. And the third one on the right-hand side is organizational efficiency and effectiveness. And again, these change each time, but again, we always hit those 3 topics as those are our 3 themes to our strategic plan. This is our strategic plan, and no, I don't expect you to have to read it because it's really small print. Again, you can find it onto our website. It's clearly there under our strategic plan tab there. Just something to see, we have it broken up into 3 themes, 65 actions, 54 action owners, and 11 cabinet leads that lead this work. Now let's jump into the biannual report. Each theme includes a page like this one that highlights selected actions within the research, design, implementation, and monitoring phases. For theme 1, we are highlighting 2 actions in research, 1 in design, 2 in implementation, and 1 in monitoring. The photo at the top of the page, the photo at the top of each page represent a different action within theme 1. If you look on the left-hand side there, which is that blue column, you'll see the current progress percentages from theme 1. These percentages are calculated based on all actions in theme 1, not just the highlighted ones. Theme 1 includes a total of 28 actions. Each action has a potential of reaching 100% completion. So just so clear understanding on this, research is 25%, design is 25%, implementation is 25%, and then monitoring is 25%. So as you move through that whole process, eventually we get to 100% for each action. To calculate the percentages for each phase, we add together the current completion of each ones that we have in the phase and divide that by, we actually have 28 actions, so 2,800. The results of the overall percentage shown in each phase. An action is considered fully implemented when it has been fully complete when it has been fully implemented and moved into the monitoring phase. Currently, we're at 25% complete, and that is on that left-hand side there, right above the June. You can see that number. For theme 1, compared to when I came to you in January, it was at 1%. Okay. With that, we always love to tell a story or two to highlight this theme. For this theme, I'd like to highlight one specific action and story of progress. In our January biannual report, we highlighted our investment in teacher professional development through the expansion of the enhancement of AVID aligned to theme 1 of our strategic plan. For this June report, we are focusing on the impact of this work, specifically on how AVID is improving student outcomes. In 2024-25 school year, AVID Excel, which focuses on language acquisition, was not yet available at our middle school level. It was implemented this year, 25-26, as part of our expanded support of multilingual learners. Early results from 2026 LPAC scores show gains across multiple sites, including Divisadero at a 10% growth, Green Acres 8%, La Jolla 23%, Ridgeview 43%, and Valley Oak 4%, demonstrating the positive impact of this investment on student achievement. For theme 2, we are highlighting 2 actions in research, 1 in design, 1 in implementation, and 2 in monitoring. Each of the photos on top represent the different actions within theme 2. In theme 2, we do have 21 actions available there. Again, we measure them over the completion between 25, 50, 75, and 100. The actions are considered fully complete when they have been fully implemented and moved into the monitoring phase. Currently, we're at 39% completed in theme 2. For comparison, our biannual report in January was at 19%. So there is movement and growth happening. Work is getting done. For theme 2, our highlight is this. Visalia Unified continues to provide additional support to students through our educationally related mental health services, or we call ERMS program. One student came to Visalia Unified several years ago with both developmental and mental health needs. Initially enrolled at our comprehensive school site, the student struggled with peer interaction and engaged in significant behaviors. After transitioning to Compass Learning Center, ERMS services were intensified and additional supports were put in place. Through perseverance, dedicated support, hard work, and the student successfully promoted this year with tremendous pride and confidence. As a reflection of this growth, the student shared this advice. Take care of yourself. Don't work so much. Choose to do things that will make you happy, not just everyone else and whatever else they want you to do. Get some rest, be happy, and choose better for yourself. The young lady's right there on the left-hand side, that first picture. Another student's journey highlights the transformative impact of individualized support. For years, severe anxiety made it difficult for this senior at Golden West High School to consistently attend classes. Despite multiple attempts to return to campus, attendance was often limited to only a few days at a time before anxiety became overwhelming. With the support of ERMS and the staff at Compass Learning Center, the student made remarkable progress this year. Not only did the student graduate, but she is also graduating 44th in her senior class. Last week, the student participated in graduation practice along with their senior class. After celebrating at the promotion ceremony at Compass Learning Center, the student walked with their classmate at graduation last Thursday. And you know that's a big deal for students that are struggling with anxiety. Looking ahead, the student has already enrolled in classes at College of Sequoia and is well positioned for a successful future. Finally, I move into theme 3. This one, we're highlighting one action in research, one in design, one in implementation, and one in monitoring. Each of the photos on top represent the different actions that we are highlighting. In this one, we have 16 actions. Implementation at this point, we were, in January, we were at 1%. We are now currently at 19% implemented. The story or the highlight here I want to share for theme 3. For theme 3, our district-wide classroom technology upgrades. Project continues to move forward as we work with school sites to identify and confirm 2 instructional monitor locations that best support instructional needs and daily operation. We are actively gathering site and staff input to ensure each site is installed thoughtfully, planned, and aligned with classroom functionality. As locations are finalized, the facilities team will begin developing implementation plans and schedules to support a smooth rollout across the district. Currently, all high and middle schools are completed. We are working on elementary sites. Phase 2 was recently approved by the board and construction begins on Monday, June 8th, which was yesterday. Phase 3, currently under design, is estimated to start in October. Those will both be completed before the end of next school year, so we're very excited about that. To have upgraded technology in our classrooms only enhances the learning experience for our students. Finally, as a reminder, the next biennial report will be in January 2027 for year 2 and reflect the work that was accomplished through the first half of 2026-27 school year, along with how that work affects our students and families across access to a quality educational experience. That concludes my report. And a reminder, this can be found on our VUSD website under the tab Strategic Plan, and I will remain at this time for any board questions.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Thompson. Any public comment on this item? Any board member comment on this item? Mr. Belt?
I want to thank you, Mr. Thompson, and your staff, because we now have not only direction and goals, we have measurable data that we can actually work from. And I appreciate the transparency that's gone into this, that we aren't there yet, but we're making some good strides. Thank you so much.
Any other comment? No. Mr. Thompson, thank you.
Thank you.
Don't go too far, though. 5.3, Summer Learning and Facilities. Presenter is Deputy Superintendent Mark Thompson and Chief Business Officer Nathan Hernandez.
Good evening, President Odo, members of the board, and Superintendent Shrum. So tonight, this item is on our summer learning and facilities, and just to kind of switch things up, I'm going to take the summer learning part, and Mr. Thompson's going to talk about facilities. I think we might have got the slide a little backwards here. But this, so we're going to look at some of our maintenance and facilities projects that we do during summertime. We call the summer our time. It's our 40 days and 40 nights, which has really gotten much smaller than that to get these projects done. We'll look at some staff professional learning as well as the programs happening on our school sites this summer. So I'll start with some of our summer maintenance projects. Again, this is when we really ramp up to get schools ready for the fall. Just to highlight a couple here, we've got nutritional services department, air conditioning happening in lots of kitchens. Those are being switched over from swamp coolers, so I'm sure that is going to be a super project for those folks. And then our tennis court resurfacing. We do this every few years, but Redwood and El Diamante tennis courts will be resurfaced over the summer. At Houston Elementary School, we have a modernization project that's been happening there that will be completed this August, but you can see there the front office replacement as well as the safer drop-off and pickup area at the front of the school. And then we can see what our classrooms look like when they're modernized with new lighting, the technology in the classroom, as well as wall fixtures. And also a turf project happening at Houston School. You can see at the top of where that project's going, that grassy area is pretty worn down. It's mostly dirt there, and this will be a turf that'll be installed. And you can see the Fresno State Bulldog there. This was donated by David Carr. And that will also be completed this August. We just talked about our strategic plan action item with the district-wide technology upgrades that are happening over summer with the final phase to be completed before the end of January. And you can see all the school sites there. If the site's not there, it means it's either done or it'll be completed as an upcoming modernization project. At Valley Oak, we are replacing a couple of temporary classrooms up at the top in this photo outlined in red. I don't know if we were more excited or if kids were more excited about that crane on there, but we wanted to make sure we showed a picture of that. The building there on the right, this is a permanent modular classroom, and so they come in these parts, but they are really designed to be there and last as long as a normal stick-built classroom. And again, replacing those temporary portable classrooms. At Redwood High School, we're replacing the turf on the upper field that's been there. It's over 13 years now. It's older technology. When we think about field turf, the new turf will be much safer as well as have infill that is cooling. So even in the summer when it's warm, it'll have a cooler temperature designed to require less maintenance and last longer. And then finally, rounding off with round 5 of CalShape grant, we're replacing 237 HVAC units this summer through this grant program. And we've also got a playground structure. This is an accessible playground at Pinkham Elementary School that opened up today with construction. And again, it has the port-in-place material rather than the softball or the bark, and so it's accessible by wheelchair. And that wraps up the summer facilities projects. And I'll turn it over to Mr. Thompson.
Thank you, sir. Well, during the summer months, learning does not stop for our teachers. While summer provides an opportunity for rest and recharge, it also is a time for preparation and growth for the following school year. I wanted to highlight a few summer professional learning opportunities that will be happening. This summer, more than 550 teachers will participate in 2 days of training to prepare for the implementation of our new mathematics curriculum, Amplify. English development department development teachers and middle school English teachers will also receive training in Read 180, a new reading support program in middle school students in direct response to what our teachers are informing us about our system about reading improvement before high school. Teachers will spend time working together to plan lessons, strengthen collaboration, and prepare for new co-teaching partnerships. New educational specialists will participate in training designed to help them start the school year successfully. In addition, all teachers who are new to VUSD will take part in a 5-day learning experience before school begins. During this time, they will learn about the district systems, expectations, and become familiar with curriculum and instructional resources and practices for quality lesson delivery each and every day. For our students, while we're talking about expanded learning opportunities, which is for our elementary students, I also want to highlight that our high school, we do have summer school going on. I'm not going to highlight that today, but it does start today at Redwood and LD. Similar to previous years, in high school, still provides students the opportunity to recover learning and credits and also accelerate by taking courses to provide them more flexibility in the traditional school schedule. We'll be bringing highlights about high school here in the near future at the end of summer. So now let's focus on expanded learning opportunities for summer. This is for our K-6 kiddos. We have 2 sessions going on this year, June 9th to July 3rd, and then a second one from July 6th to August 7th. We have a little over 2,100 students signed up for enrollment, and how this looks like is the morning academic session is led by VUSD certificated teachers. We'll be providing rigorous standards alignment instruction and provide continuous learning from the end of the school year to address our academic priorities and prepare them for the next school year. Afternoon, while it's always fun to learn in the morning, they also are going to have some fun in the afternoon. We're having an enrichment program provided by California Adventures Camps, offering hands-on engaging activities. Also, that will build social and emotional skills and foster a love for learning. In the second session that I shared with you is July 6th to August 7th, which if you notice, there is now more of a continuum for the whole summer. As we're getting closer to that. In the past, we had only provided more towards the beginning of the summer, so we're just excited to continue to provide our students and our families opportunities for learning throughout the whole summer. The second session will be ran by California Adventure Camps. There's a little over 1,200 students already signed up for this opportunity, and it's a full-day enrichment, play-based learning environment, promote creativity, teamwork, and physical wellness. Last but not least, I want to share with you community nights and extended programming. While everyone loves the core, there's also opportunities to have some fun. So there's going to be a laser tag mobile course July 22nd. It's a high energy team-based activity that promotes strategic thinking and friendly competition for students and families. So don't miss out on that night, July 22nd. And then also we have a Ninja Coalition Challenge on the 29th. It's an obstacle course experience designed to build confidence, resilience, and community connectedness. In conclusion, our summer program represents a significant commitment to extended learning, family engagement, and student well-being. With over 3,300 students enrolled across the 2 sessions and exciting community events on the calendar, we are creating transformative experiences and learning opportunities to strengthen our community. Next, let's target in a little bit on even younger students. So we're looking at preschool TK K transitions. As students are entering the school younger and younger, there's an increasing need for early behavioral and social emotional supports. We have prepared for the transition of 88 preschool students with IEPs into TK and kindergarten programs this fall. Each student's placement has been carefully planned based on their individual needs, with most students transitioning into either general education or SLC classrooms. To support a strong start, our early childhood special education, early childhood education, and elementary off-campus intervention teams have identified students who would benefit from additional supports for the first few weeks of school. This proactive approach helps ensure students, families, and staff are set up for success on the first day of school. Also preparing for smooth transition, our transition process begins months before students enter in their new classrooms. We bring together the current teaching staff and the receiving teaching staff through school feeder staffings and transition meetings. and classroom observations happen to ensure everyone has a clear understanding of each student's strengths and support needs. Families are encouraged throughout this transition process to engage. Transition student information is shared with receiving schools, and families are asked to participate in the TK Roundup and transition planning activities as they are prepared and connected, again, for that first day of school, which is so important for that student to have that first positive interaction. Finally, we invest in our staff readiness to be prepared for this. Principals, psychologists, teachers, and support staff receive information, training, and coaching on inclusive practices, behavioral supports, and special education requirements. These systems help ensure students experience a smooth, supported transition into TK and kindergarten. Continuing on, and why we do focus so much on early childhood education in general is this is where we're seeing a lot of needs for our students to be ready and be prepared for that first day of school and for those first few weeks of school. So we've really put a lot of effort and attention into this area so we have smooth transitions for our students and our staff. So early childhood education program, building on our success from last year, we have continued our TK Roundup. Our goal for this event is to create an engaging, supportive opportunity for our youngest learners to transition to school and for parents to build their connection to our district. As one parent highlights, seeing my child have fun and interacting well with diverse students and staff really gave me optimism. And another shared that their student learned the classroom routines, sitting with his classmates to eat, being around other students in a school setting, and collaborating with their class and teacher. This is consistent with our strategic plan action 2B1.2, supporting key transitions. We're excited to announce from July 6th through July 30th, incoming TK had the opportunity to attend summer session. There are currently 118 students enrolled. AM sessions are full, but we do have some spots in the PM if families still want to sign up. We still have spaces available. During the TK Roundup, parents will receive weekly instruction through school readiness workshops. The Roundup will feature a welcoming cafe atmosphere and provide families with take-home engagement activities to support learning and connection beyond this event. In addition, we have 48 parents that have signed up for the Virtual Parent University, and we still have more room for that too, parents, if you want to sign up for that. I know I spoke quickly and I know I said a lot, but at this time, that does conclude our summer learning and facilities report. We will remain for any questions.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Thompson and Mr. Hernandez. Is there any public comment on this item? No? Board member comment? Mr. Belt.
Deputy Superintendent Thompson, can you tell us what campuses are the summer ELOP
That's a
programs?
great question. I don't have that right off on my head as we have several sites, but I can definitely get that, and it is on our website.
Okay, like to see that.
Yes.
And then one correction, it was Derek Carr that donated this turf at Houston School, which is pretty remarkable. So thank you again for Derek Carr to make such a wonderful donation.
Okay, any other board comment? Okay, gentlemen, thank you. We'll now move to item 6, general public comment. General public comment on any item not on the agenda may be heard at this time. If you have public comment on an item listed on tonight's agenda, there will be an opportunity for you to share your comments at the time the item comes up for discussion by the board. Pursuant to board policy, the board will limit individual comments for general public comment to no more than 3 minutes and individual topics to 20 minutes. To comply with the Brown Act, California's open public meeting law, board discussion is limited to items on the agenda. Therefore, when receiving public comment for items not on the agenda, the board's role is limited to receiving such comments, and the board may not engage in dialogue with the public. The board thanks the public for its participation in public comment and understanding of the board's responsibilities. It is recommended you begin your comments by stating your name. I do have a number of folks who have requested to speak. We will start off with Brittany Camacho.
Good evening. My name is Brittany Camacho, and I am here with an urgency, seeking help, which I need, all of your help with, to install cameras in special needs classrooms within the district. I have 4 small children. 3 out of my 4 are special needs. I have 2 in VUSD and 1 in county that started in VUSD. Of my 3 children in special needs, the 3 that I have were all abused in their classroom with VUSD, and they're all nonverbal. I'm not here to focus, too much on that, but my point is that it was something that could have been not so dragged out had the first incident been reported immediately. It wouldn't have taken a whole classroom of children to be affected. So my concern is that there's no protection for children in special needs classrooms that are nonverbal. You cannot rely, especially from our situation, it was years of abuse. And in our situation, you could not rely on mandated reporting because, again, we're human and humans are known to fail. There are people that are afraid to speak up, or people that did try and certain people didn't help. But the point is that you cannot put children that cannot advocate or speak for themselves in the hands of just adults, like just relying on adults. You can't trust that every adult, I'm not saying they're all the same, but there are adults that won't make the right decision, or mandate reporters that won't properly mandate report, and the children's safety is at risk without having cameras in those classrooms. There's no way to protect them. They cannot advocate for themselves. They're nonverbal, and as men, we're known to fail. So I don't see why there shouldn't be a layer of protection for children in special needs classrooms, and also for staff members. We want to have just a layer of security for everybody that works inside of special needs classrooms. Also for staff members, because it takes just one person's voice that doesn't like somebody to maybe say something that's not correct or not proper. And then that entire teacher's career, their whole life, was invested into this career that they want to have, could be in the hands of somebody just having false accusations. But if there were cameras, you would be able to look back on that and see, okay, the teacher was not at fault, or you'd be able to look back and say, that child was abused. There's no doubt about it. So I think that cameras are so important, and that it would have liability. And there wouldn't be a he said, she said, or a fight. It would just be straight evidence, and they need that protection.
Thank you. Next up, Linda Martinez.
Hi, my name is Linda Martinez. I have two children that are students in VUSD. Today I'll be primarily talking about my son Mateo, who was a victim in this class as well. My son Mateo is nonverbal. He may never talk, and it is an immense challenge I struggle with as his parent. Perhaps the reason I have such a strong voice is so I can speak for him, so I will. He cannot tell me what happened or how he was hurt, and that is why cameras in his classroom are vital to protect him and to provide an unbiased view of the day. As a society, it is our duty to protect children. We cannot rely on mandated reporting in this district. On your website, it says you are committed to, quote, creating physical and social emotional safety in all learning environments, end quote. This was broken. We need a clear plan from you as a board for how the safety will be ensured in the future. Cameras in special needs classrooms need to be a step in that plan. Principals and other admins need to be responsible for the monitoring of those cameras and these classrooms. Please do what you can to ensure protections for our most vulnerable. Imagine for a minute that your own child is nonverbal and cannot communicate their joys or pains with you. I am constantly using clues and body language to determine my son's wants and needs, but it is impossible to know his feelings most of the time. My Mateo has been a student in VUSD since he turned 3 in 2023. My anxiety and stress over sending him to school has always been high because I cannot ask him about his day, his teacher, or his friends. I have always trusted you and his teachers and his admins, and that trust has been betrayed and broken. I found out about these charges in the media and not from someone in your own administration, and that is outrageous. I am not alone. Many parents found out the same way and feel just as betrayed as I do today. The only step forward is to provide secure classrooms is to add cameras into these special needs classrooms immediately. These cameras should be monitored and data stored for at least 1 year for recall. Our children and future students deserve a safe, abuse-free environment, and you need to add cameras to prove that it is happening already in these classrooms. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's see. Day Cabrales.
Hello, board. I'm Day. I'd like to start this off by saying I'm no longer a VUSD student, nor an educator, nor a parent. I'm an older sibling, however, and an incredibly nervous observer of this district's handling of child safety. Within the last year, I have come to learn about many incidents within this system that baffle me at the very least and truly terrify me to ruminate on. I personally witnessed something atrocious at Elbow Creek Elementary. During an assembly, a faculty member had taken a picture of the back of an unassuming student's shirt. This caught my attention clearly, so I continued observing. She proceeded to send that image to the librarian of the same school. I saw very plainly what their conversation had been about. Quote, "I don't care. I am a racist," is what I read. This faculty member heart reacted to this message sent by the librarian. I alerted the principal of this immediately after the assembly ended. I got a call back confirming a meeting had taken place within the faculty members, and we were assured that action would be taken. Nothing has happened. These proud racists are working in your system with nothing less than a slap on the wrist. The case against your former Highland Elementary special education member, Lacey Ann Horsting, was just dropped in court, as you may know. The lawsuit was filed due to the alleged abuse of nonverbal children in Horsting's class. And as far as I have researched, there has been no statement or active support of these families during this crushing time from you, the district in which it took place. It's odd to me. It's also odd that a teacher at Golden West High School was mysteriously replaced during the remaining week of the year, and when their students asked what happened, there was a shrug and a brush off. Well, without direct explanations, my relative says that the kids in class began sharing what they believed to be the reason why. That their teacher had been arrested for suspected abusive relations with children at school. And this is obviously alleged, as there was no direct notification of what occurred in reality. Not from Golden West faculty, not from you, the district. I do not claim the statement to be factual. I'm pointing out that it is dangerous for there to be this big of a communication gap to where students move to assume that their teacher was a pedophile. In your last board meeting, Safia Seifer brought up the termination from and later rehiring of a Mount Whitney faculty member who was found to be in sexually abusive relations with a child. These behaviors were present before the first termination, yet this man was repositioned to be near children in the same school yet again. What chills me most about this is that I could continue the long list of occurrences, but what would this achieve? I'm sure that you all know of these events. And why has there been nothing done to ensure that children are not exposed to blatant predators? If you are not aware, I beg the question, how could you not know? To be honest, I'm seething with rage and confound disbelief. I truly hope that we can get a proper explanation, an apology, and immediate reform for this seemingly deeply faulty institution. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Dr. Sarah Garcia.
Dr. Sarah Garcia, most of you have seen me. We look like we have a skeleton crew. So we the people. You have Visalia. We are VUSD, right? Check this out. We are VUSD. Without us, you don't exist. We are taxpayers. We pay for all of these wonderful things that you like to do in the things going on in the schools. I'm so excited and proud of the things that you're doing. I think, you know, I had a Zoom, my daughter Safia and I had a Zoom with Matt Shin. It was lovely. At the end of it, though, what was interesting is he took a moment to sort of observe that, oh, well, you only have 3 minutes, so I know when you get up there, you have to be really intense. And that is fascinating to me. You have made me your adversary. You have made people that stand up here and talk to you your adversaries when we all should be VUSD Because again, you wouldn't be here without our kids. You wouldn't be here without our tax money. So you, through lack of transparency, you, through lack of the ability to just take ownership, okay? We have yet to see anybody on this board take ownership for anything. It's always, well, this is what we're doing. What I've seen is a ton of damage control. I know that other members of the community have met with various VUSD folks. And what we get here at board meetings and what we get in those meetings are a lot of, oh, but look what we're doing. Oh, look, no, we already have those. We have a climate survey. We have this, we have that. Check this out, it's not working, okay? So instead of telling me what you have and what you're doing, I want to hear what you're going to do. And we have yet to do that. We are asking for accountability. I am up here at every board meeting holding you to the flame because you've refused to hold each other and yourselves. As a parent, I am consistently, something goes on with my kid, I immediately don't go at her. I first look at what's going on here. Where have I missed the mark? Then we talk about it. Okay, my kid, again, was honored by you here more than 1 year. That's what we do. That's the example we set. We take responsibility, we take ownership, and then we problem solve. I am not here to be the villain in your story, but you certainly are the villain in mine because I don't see any of you being part of Team VUSD. So as far as I'm concerned, you are the powers that be, and you're missing the mark. It's disappointing. So let's go into summer trying to figure this out.
Thank you. Sinisa Flores.
Good evening, board members and superintendent. I want to offer you a story, a little something for you to carry with you over the summer, something to reflect on in your downtime. The story is a lesson we share with participants of the Girasol program, which supports young women and femme-identified youth. It's a space rooted in growth, reflection, and empowerment, and I've had the honor of facilitating this work at the Visalia campus. So here we go with the story. Imagine a place called the Purple City. Long ago, purple people built the city. They created the schools, the government, the businesses, the media, and many of the rules that shape daily life. As the city grew, purple people remained in positions of leadership and influence throughout nearly every major system. The schools taught mostly purple history. The media highlighted mostly purple stories. The laws, policies, and institutions reflected purple experiences and priorities. Green and orange families also lived in this city, but they had far less influence over the systems that affected their lives. Over time, many purple people came to believe that the way things were done in the purple city was simply normal, because the systems worked reasonably well for them. They didn't often notice how differently green and orange families experienced those same systems. Some purple people developed assumptions about green and orange people without truly knowing them. Stereotypes spread, misunderstandings became common, opportunities became easier to access for some families than for others. The people running the systems often believed that they were being fair, yet the outcomes told a different story. And here's the important part. Purple City was not perfect even for purple people. Some purple families still struggled. Some experienced poverty, trauma, violence, discrimination, disability, or hardship. The systems were not working equally for everyone, but because purple people were centered at the design of those systems, their experiences were more likely to be seen. Now imagine green or orange child growing up in a purple city. They attend purple schools, they learn purple history, they're expected to succeed according to purple standards. They may rarely see themselves reflected in leadership, curriculum, policies, or even the stories that are celebrated. Some children learn to navigate the system successfully, and others try to balance and they struggle with who they are and with what the system expects for them to be. When those children struggle, people often ask what's wrong with the child, what's wrong with the family. But the Purple City teaches a different lesson. It reminds us that systems shape opportunities, experiences, and outcomes. One of the lessons of Purple City is that treating everyone exactly the same is not the same as seeing everyone. If we only look at the averages, if we only rely on broad surface level data, from student surveys and we don't take time to break that data down, we risk missing something important. We may never truly hear the voices of those who experience experiences that differ from the majority. Diversity is not an exception to reality, it is reality. Every child comes to school with their own culture, identity, language, ability, strength, and lived experiences. To serve all children, we must first be willing to see the child. This lesson of the Purple City is not about blame. It's about awareness and listening. It's about understanding that when systems are built around only some experiences, everyone is affected, even the people those systems are designed to serve. The goal is to build systems that work for all children, not just the majority. Because when every child belongs, every child benefits.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great summer.
Mickey K.
Hi, I'm Mickey Kay. I'm actually here to talk about graduation. So I don't know if you guys are aware, but during graduation, this was for VCIS on a Monday. They were making everybody return their purses to their vehicles. Echelon was there as a contract company to help with security. And then there was also a VUSD head of security employee that I spoke with as well. The fact that they wouldn't let me take in this specific purse right here, even when I emptied it out and everything, it was extremely frustrating. But I think the worst part about the whole experience was we don't own a car. We got there by bus and other means of transportation. So it was very classist, discriminatory. The Echelon contracting person told me, what did he say? He's like, ma'am, the amount of time that you are arguing with me, you can go on and walk your purse to your car. That way you don't miss your child's graduation. It was extremely uncalled for. I looked at him and I said, I came on the bus. And so I just wanted to bring that to your attention. The VUSD employee also stated that it was on your guys' district website that we weren't allowed to bring purses. That's not true. It doesn't say anything about purses. It also doesn't say anything about not bringing purses in the slideshow that the seniors were sent. Wanted to make you guys aware. Thank you so much. And let's also take maybe a little bit of responsibility for the issues that we currently have in VUSD, like what happened at Redwood, what currently happened with the bullying. The bullying assembly, I have a 6th grader in an elementary school. She was actually here on her birthday night, March 10th, and she made a statement. I asked her how the assembly went. She said it was a generalized bullying that we don't call people names. I personally think that maybe we should look at maybe the older elementary school students having a completely different assembly that goes into a little bit more specifics about different types of bullying and different kinds of categories for different demographics of people. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Ephraim Becerra.
Good evening, board members. So my reason for being here is I was a VUSD employee up to March 10th. I came and stated my opinion on the Redwood situation. 2 weeks later, I get a release notice from Ms. Burgess into my school that I work for. I also want to notify that I used to work for Manuel Hernandez, hired by Dr. Sonia Joyner, sitting back there on her phone, by the way. When we're talking about special ed, I believe you should be paying attention because I am the reason that I was working for you. So I got let go, and let me tell you, over talking to parents, I was told by Ms. Burgess that's sitting right there. Okay? And I believe communication is key. I have a 27-year-old nonverbal sister that went through the system, and I believe that's very important. So I don't think employees should be fired. I've been requesting my employee records. That's what you have, okay? I have emails there asking the staff, how can I improve? How can I better my job? No responses from the teachers I work with. No responses from staff members, okay? So I don't get told anything. I just got told you're on probation and we don't have to give you a reason. When I got talked to the first time with Ms. Burgess and the union rep, which Mina was there, if you need the union rep, we can call her. She said, you can get let go for any reason. Kind of intimidating. That's not a way to talk to your employees, I don't believe, especially when I've been recognized by all these federal and state organizations here. You see this? This is not a bad employee. This is not a bad employee. Okay. I also emailed you guys about the Visalia Around the World exhibition. None of you replied. The last time, March 10th, I sent 2 emails. None of you. Mr. Schrum, you got emails from me too. I also called the HR office. You know, it's not about me, the exhibition. I think we need more awareness of how the world is and how difference is what makes us amazing. So yes, I'm frustrated because I'm unemployed and I'm doing community work, as you can see here. And these are not it. I have way more. There are on that gallery sitting right there at the Arts Consortium. So a bad employee makes mistakes. I'm not saying I'm perfect. Maybe I was late 1 or 2 times. I don't know, but I was never talked to the way I believe an employee should be talked to. I was never sat down by Dr. Sonia Joyner back there. And I was never told, this is what you're doing wrong. The only thing I got was a letter of transfer during the winter break. Do you think that is fair to treat your employees that way? I don't think it's so. So definitely, I cannot wait for November to get here because we need to do some adjustments. To this Visalia community, please do your research on who is endorsing what. I know this is a nonpartisan position, but we need to check into these people, definitely. And it's nothing against you, but it's definitely, I think there's ways of talking to the people that have been here since March 10th. And definitely, I'm just disappointed because I work very hard and I get this result of losing my job. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, and Major Rogers.
Hello, my name is Major Rogers. I've worked for the district as a guest teacher for about 15 years, adjunct at COS for about 15 years. I coached for Redwood for 13 years, the boys water polo. My background is in public administration. I just quickly want to make a point of something that I read online the other day that kind of bothered me, and I didn't know if there was going to be more of a pushback here. Something I read about a close friend, Nils Burgess, the principal at El Diamante. And apparently someone wrote a anonymous letter. It was clearly ChatGPT, so they didn't even have the courage or the heart to write it themselves, with some pretty negative things about Nils. I feel if you all know Nils, you understand his high intellect and his large heart. And just something I want the community to know about Nils. Nils was making a lot of money about 15 years ago, and he liked his job. And I remember the day he came to me and told me, I don't feel fulfilled. And it bothered him. I lost sleep last night over what I read on Jim Reeves' post. Nils left it all behind and took a teaching job at Sequoia, some of our toughest nuts to crack. He stayed there 10 years. I've been around the district long enough and witnessed enough to know that when you're a rising star or a hot shot or something like that, and you go to Sequoia, you usually get 2 years out of someone, maybe 3, and then they move on. Nils was there 10 years. At the end of his 10 years, I said, hey man, come over to Redwood. The honors English class could really use you. It'll let you decompress. You'll get to see another side of education. I really wanted him to do that. He went deeper. He went into Mill Creek. That blew me away. And some people asked Nils to apply for the El Diamante job. Nils wasn't anxious to do that, but he felt it was his duty if some people asked him that he should put in an application, and he did. It's his first year. I feel he's running into issues some first-year principals deal with. But something I know about NILS unequivocally, NILS is a put students first. And sometimes it doesn't work with teachers, as weird as that sounds. These kids at Mill Creek and at Sequoia and the at-risk youth at our general high schools, they don't leave these schools and go to other cities. They stay within our community. We need someone with passion that's giving them the attention they need, so that way we're not being mugged by them or our house is broken into. We're getting kids that are getting a high school diploma and benefiting our city where we are all living. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any other public comment? Okay, seeing none, we will move on. Item 7, consent agenda. Would any board member like to pull an item from consent agenda? Okay, seeing none, may I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So I'll move.
Okay, moved by Mr. Belt, second by
I'll second.
Ms. Gaby. Call for the vote.
Did somebody not? Oh, there we go. Motion carries 5 yes and 2 absent.
Okay, item 8, board member reports. And in our traditional way, Mr. Belt, you're up first.
Traditional way, I like that. Thank you, Dr. Odo. As was noted earlier, the neighborhood degree program not only highlights students who come from Houston through middle school and through high school and tremendous mentoring, giving them focus on the future, but it's amazing to be there and actually see that each one of those 19 seniors received a brand new laptop to help them in their next chapter of school or trade school. Absolutely amazing. Thank you again, Neighborhood Degree Program and all who support it. The ultimate goal that we have here, who sit in these seats, quite voluntarily, by the way, is to see students graduate from high school. That's our goal. And in the last week, we not only witnessed thousands doing that, but we also saw story after story of individuals who had some tremendous hurdles and obstacles to finish high school. Came back to Visalia Adult School in their, we'll say, middle age, and actually finished high school. To others who had language barriers and obstacles who finished high school. Absolutely a high point of my involvement with Visalia Unified is to shake 2,000 hands, to greet students that I've known since they were in my wife's second grade class. So you made it. Now there's more. Now to launch. And so I thank all of our staff, teachers, parents, and families for seeing thousands of young people. We went to 8 graduations among us and a promotion of 8th graders as well. And there's nothing like it. It's the culmination of 13 years. I also want to highlight the amazing, beautiful job of improving our stadiums. Again, a bucket of money that couldn't go to salaries or anything else except infrastructure. And it was well spent. Thank you guys for all those who worked at that. We now have not only energy saving lights, but colorful ones that can do literally color shows, light shows if we'd like to. Film that can be shown up on the big screen, and it is first class and tremendous to actually see the potential as our tech services were, well, not tech, it's our media people working to learn on the run, on the go of how to make sure that all that is worked very, very well. The 4th grade music festival, I want to also thank Lon Hanna, retired music teacher from Visalia Unified, showed up as the students are singing the music from his uncle, his dad, and most of those 4th graders that were in my wife's 4th grade music classes were ecstatic to be able to see the person who wrote the music and have no idea the history of the community of the Hannas and what they have invested in all of us and all of Visalia. That was truly a highlight of what the Visalia community is all about. I also want to mention the August 8th Neighborhood Community Center will have a grand opening at 1103 North Turner Street at 9 a.m. It'll be well worth the community and all of us here to, if you're not on vacation, well, actually, we'll be back in school, won't we? We'll be back in school to see what the investment, again, of community people are doing right there on a little piece of land that we sold them on the corner of the school to reach the community and have something, a tremendous resource for them. I guess that's all I really wanted to say tonight. I appreciate all of your work. We mentioned it last meeting. Many of you are going on vacation. We have principals here today. You earned it more than just on a contract, more than just because it says so on your pay stub that you've earned so many vacation days. No, because you invest yourself in making sure our students become lifelong learners. Thank you all.
Okay, Ms. Gaby?
Yes, so definitely dittoed the graduation. It is, it's a long week, but it is fabulous. And so thank you. I know, we all know that is not the result of, just that last year of school. It starts in preschool and TK and all the way through and really is that accumulation. But oh my gosh, seeing those kids' faces coming towards you, so excited. And the few times that we got a little backed up on names, being able to talk to some of the students down there, and they, there's some of the culinary arts students, one's going to Napa to start school, and they were so excited about their future. So thank you to all the staff and all the work that goes into that. And thank you to our facilities team that now starts their season. And, they do have a very limited time to get a lot done, but everything that they do during the summer doesn't impact learning during the school year. And so we do appreciate that. So have a good summer to everybody else.
Ms. Naylor.
Not much left, but yeah, the graduations were amazing. And I also want to thank all our staff, from cleaning the rooms to teaching our students. What a great job you did this year. Thank you for all your time and effort. Hope you have a great summer, some relaxing time, and hit the ground running in August for our students. Also, just a big thank you for, even our administrators for, all the infrastructure and all the building and the modernization. Our schools, when I have gone out to a couple of schools, they look so amazing, and it's nice to see our kids with some great facilities to learn in. It just helps with that success. So anyways, have a great summer. Thank you so much for all you do. And also to the ones teaching summer school, got to say that, because to give up your summer to teach our students, just so amazing. And the staff that has to support that, clean the rooms, and the librarians and everybody else that comes together to teach our students in the summer.
Okay. Board Clerk Gamoyen.
I also want to thank staff, teachers, classified employees, our bus drivers, our aides. It was a pretty good year. I think we did a lot. We achieved a lot. And I think we do have a lot to celebrate. And I think the culmination of that celebration was graduation, looking at those kids' faces as they're finishing their career in VUSD. So thank you, everybody, parents, students, all our stakeholders that are part of VUSD. And yes, have a restful summer. And I'm kind of a nerd. I always look forward to August. It's like Christmas to me. So have a great summer.
Okay. And I'll just repeat what's already been said a couple times over. Thanks to everyone who works in the district in the service of the children that attend schools in Visalia Unified. You're 6,000 or 7,000 strong. School doesn't happen without you. We do it for kids, yes, absolutely, but your work shows through everything that they do and they achieve, and we celebrate that throughout the course of the year. I had a chance to attend, it was either 12 or 13 year-end events, which is, it's a lot, but it's the greatest thing in the world. When you see kids adults receiving pins at adult school for nursing programs, when you see kids in different schools promote, when you see kids in high schools graduate, move on to their futures, it's the culmination of, I used to say 13, now it's 14 or 15 years of school and effort on the part of adults who care for kids to get them to that point. We're good at that. We're not perfect. And like was said here earlier in public comment, the kids who go to school here in this district typically stay here. I know when you talk to high school kids, first thing I'm going to do is get out. Well, they might do that, but they come back because this is a good place to live, and they learn how to be good Visalians in our schools. And the things that we teach and model and show them during the course of their time with us shows off every time they do anything as an adult. So thanks to you all for the work that you've done, and I am done. Mr. Schrum, it's up to you.
Thank you, President Odo, and just to echo all of that and our teachers at summer school, but also all of our staff that participate in summer professional development. We have, it's not 100%, but it's not far from it, of teachers, especially our elementary teachers with a new math curriculum coming, and many other things to make sure they're set up and prepared for the school year. We've mentioned the facilities and all of the work that happens over the summer to get our sites ready. Also want to give a shout out, we received an email from a parent whose child had a medical emergency before the Golden West High School graduation, and was unable to be able to go outside, and just send us an email, I think it was today or yesterday, just complimenting the Golden West staff on just the support, helping the student in that moment, helping the parents, and then providing support for that student to celebrate and have an experience for that event. So just a shout out to the things that our staff do that many people will never see, but every now and then we have the person that will send the email or come to share that information with us, and so I appreciate that and wish everybody a great summer and safe travels to our teams that are traveling for professional development or working locally, and our teams that will be helping get our sites and facilities ready, and the ELOP and summer programs. And I don't know if we'll have any challenges for the Ninja course or anything like that, or laser tag, looking at a couple of people, but we will see. Those are amazing experiences for our students and families as they come together, and so I appreciate all of our staff and the work going into making those things possible. That concludes my report.
Okay, moving back to business here. 10.1, recommended expulsions. May I have a motion to approve recommended expulsions?
I'll motion to approve.
Motion by Gaby. I'll second. Call for the vote.
Motion carries, 5 yes, 2 absent.
Okay, recommended reinstatements. May I have a motion to approve the recommended reinstatements?
Also move.
Yeah.
I'll second.
Okay, so Belt first, Gaby second. Call for the vote.
Motion carries, 5 yes, 2 absent.
All right, general agenda, 2025-26, local indicators and performance levels. Deputy Superintendent Mark Thompson.
Good evening again, Board President Odo, board members, and Superintendent Schrum. Tonight I'm excited to provide you with our local indicators and performance levels that center, we'll get my slide deck up here in just a second, but really it centers on our core beliefs and commitments focused on family and community engagement for student success, and also learning environments that are safe, supportive, and innovative. This is an annual report that we do each year for our dashboard. So our agenda tonight is here. And so we will be going through the 5 sections in our dashboard to show our local indicators. This is a picture of our California State dashboard from last year. We anticipate that our new results with data will be here soon. Here we will be sharing that in fall during our PSO time, which is traditionally in December when we have everything aggregated and brought together. Along with the 7 metrics from the student performance, there are 5 metrics that the state uses to evaluate the effectiveness of our program. So if you see the top one and then to the left there, those are the 7 that the state provides for us. The bottom 5, which are the ones outlined there, are the ones that we're going to be talking about right now. Unlike the first 7 there, these 5 are self-assessed and either are listed as standards meet or standard not met. This is a requirement that we do each and every year. To achieve standard met, we must show that we are working to address each area, not whether that area is fully completed. Okay. So our first one is in basic service, which it addresses teachers' misassignment and student access to adopted materials. This report is based on each site's FIT reports. The district continues to provide strong foundational services, with all students having access to standard-aligned instructional materials and all facilities meeting the state's good repair standard. Like many districts across California, VUSD continues to experience staffing challenges for hard-to-fill areas. Particular ones are special education, mathematics, and science. State reported credentialing data includes educators serving under approved pathways and permits. Why I wanted to highlight that is the state uses the word ineffective up there, and that is a designation which is about credentialing and assignment reporting categories and should not be interpreted as a measure of student performance. Many teachers included in this category are serving under approved credential pathways or assignments authorized while completing certification requirements. In that 70 identified, 58 are on emergency permits and 12 are on misassignment. For basic services, we have met in that area. Next, another self-reporting area is implementation of state standards, support in professional development to address state standards and policies to improve instruction. So how this is done is the State Board of Education, or SBE, has an adopted self-evaluation tool that are embedded in the web-based dashboard system which we use to assess ourselves. That can be found on the CDE website under Local Indicators webpage. And they give us an opportunity to scale ourselves on each area. So the implementation for professional learning, we have identified ourselves as full implementation in ELA and math. The other subjects, as you can see here, are initial and beginning stages. Next, for instructional materials, we have identified ourselves as full implementation in ELA and math. Other subjects here, we are also in initial implementation or beginning stages. And then implementation of state academic standards, implementing academic standards. Here in each of these areas, content areas, we are at full implementation, with world language being initial implementation. Next up, in progress in implementing policies to improve instruction. In each of these areas, we're either in the initial implementation or beginning development stages for these areas. Following that rubric and doing our analysis, we are in the meets category for state academic standards. Next is parent and family engagement rating scale. Again, this is the same way that they provide us an opportunity to scale ourselves and to continue to do this work. It is on a rating scale of 1 to 5 there. Our first one is family and community engagement, building relationships. The district continues to work with our social workers, counselors, and FCRC, our Family and Community Resource Center staff, to strengthen partnership with families by creating welcoming school environments and expanding opportunities for meaningful engagement. Ongoing efforts focus on building staff capacity, deepening understanding of family strengths and cultures, and increasing two-way communication to ensure all families feel valued, connected, and supported in their child's education. Also, seeking input for decision-making. The district has strengthened family engagement and parent partnerships through an active DAC, which is District Advisory Committee, and DLAC, which is the District English Language Acquisition Committee participation. All sites met advisory group requirements, memberships increased, and attendance reached a record high of 107 participants. Meetings focused on key topics such as student attendance, district programs, and support services, culminating in a community resource fair. Parents' feedback continued to shape the district's priorities, including the launch of the Literacy Nights next year and plans to rotate meeting locations to highlight programs across the district. The DAC and DLAC remain important voices in informing district plans and priorities. In this area of progress in parent engagement, we did meet. Next, about building partnership. The district continues to strengthen school-family partnerships by supporting schools and expanding communication, engagement, and collaboration with families. All school sites have established family engagement goals within their school plans, with resources aligned to support implementation. Parents are provided with information about district programs, student success strategies, and state and federal requirements through ongoing DAC meetings, which also highlight the attendance and showcase programs across the district. Looking forward, the district will continue to build on this foundation through expanded parent engagement opportunities and the implementation of a district-wide MTSS system to communicate with parents and students where their student is being successful, where they're having challenges, and how we can support them in their learning. In this area, the progress of local school climate survey, we have done one. That is what we use to get feedback on these areas, and we have met that requirement. Last, we have access to a broad course of study findings. So based on this, we found that there's 3 areas where students have less access at times to a broad course of study in the secondary, and that is with students with IEPs, individual educational plans, English learners needing additional support, and students who have failed a course. Actions to improve access to broad course of study is to help students access by doing these couple things: changing our SPED service models in middle school and 9th grade to provide more access with a co-teach model, increase tier 1 classroom support so we have higher passing rates, as if a student if they don't pass the course, they have to retake that course, which then limits their ability to take another class that would provide them a broad range. Also, we've conducted extensive review of how we do master scheduling. This has been a huge undertaking that the team has worked on, working with our admin staff, and also then providing professional learning and development on how we could better utilize our master schedule to ensure kids have more access to broader ranges of classes. In this area, again, progress in broad course of study, we did meet in this area. And that concludes my report, and I'll remain, or any board member or community questions.
Any public comment on this item? Board member comment? Mr. Belt.
Sorry.
Gotta be
Deputy
quick.
Superintendent Thompson, can you give me some idea of what beginning development means for the history and social science? We had both categories were in the beginning of development. It means that we've rolled out the research and come to a place where we're ready to implement? Is that what it means? It just hasn't quite.
Yeah, so we have current curriculum that's on board consistent, but they go through the rubric and they make determinations.
Mm-hmm.
They use that rubric then to determine what our next steps are. So in those areas, ELA and math in general usually is a little bit more robust, as those are subjects that we really focus in, but we also have opportunities there for some growth in our history and science.
Great, thank you.
Ms. Gamoyen?
Mr. Thompson, I just want to thank you and your staff. I want to thank principals. You've done an amazing job this year, and we're growing. We're getting better year by year, and I want to thank you for that strategic plan, and just want to say thank you.
Any other board comment? Mr. Thompson, thank you. Okay, let's catch up here. 11.2, public hearing and first read, 2026-2027 Local Control and Accountability Plan, LCAP. I will now open the public hearing to allow for public comment on this item. Chief Business Officer Nathan Hernandez, it's all yours.
Good evening again, Board. Tonight is the public hearing and first reading of our 26-27 Local Control Accountability Plan. It's an opportunity to share this as an informational item and get input from the public before it comes back to the board on Thursday for approval. So again, this is informational item only for tonight. The LCAP represents a connection between our goals, the needs that have been identified through feedback and from our educational partners, and the actions that we're taking with targeted investments and funding to improve outcomes for students. So the LCAP is not a separate plan. It is part of our strategic plan, and it does tie to our core beliefs and commitments of achieving a high achievement for our students, especially those that are part of our foster youth, our English learners, and our students who qualify as low income, as the LCAP is principally directed towards meeting services for those students. The goals and actions outlined in the LCAP reflect our ongoing commitment to high expectations, family and community partnerships, and safe and supportive learning environments. So the LCAP is a 3-year plan. We are in year 3 of this. LCAP describes the goals and actions and services that support our student outcomes. We will, in 26-27, start the development of our next 3-year plan, and so we will have a new baseline for that plan as we go into 27-28. Most importantly, the LCAP creates the process where we ask what's working, where do we need to improve, and what can we adjust. So these are the components of the LCAP. It has turned into quite the plan. It's nearly 200 pages if you've gone through the entire thing. But we won't go through all of that. We'll talk primarily about the goals in the plan and some of the actions that are related to that. A critical part of the LCAP is engagement, and the priorities in this plan reflect the input from each of these groups. It includes our students, our staff, and our community. This input helps ensure that our actions are responsive to the needs identified across all of these student groups, So this slide is the funding within the LCAP, and as I mentioned, most of this funding is generated from our supplemental and concentration funds within our local control funding formula. So about $70 million should be principally directed towards the students that generate those funding. Again, that's our foster youth, English language learners, and our students who qualify as low income. During the budget presentation, I'll go into a little bit more detail around LCAP. Our total district budget is $538 million, so this is a significant portion of our overall budget. So we have 3 goals, and if you recall when we did the mid-year plan, we talked about our ABCs. So our 3 goals are academic achievement, belonging and safety, and communication and family engagement. And so I'll go through each of the goals. I won't read them word for word. But goal 1 focuses on academic achievement, which is ensuring students demonstrate growth and are prepared for future opportunities. We measure progress through state assessments, local measures, grades, college and career readiness, and English language learner progress. About $56 million of our $90 million LCAP is within Goal 1, so it is really the heart of the LCAP, and includes things like teachers for career technical education, our visual and performing arts programs, professional development, as well as our dual language immersion program. Goal 2 is belonging and safety. Goal 2 recognizes that academic success requires students to be connected, engaged, and supported. We monitor areas such as attendance, graduation, suspension rates, and feedback from students, staff, and families. About $28 million of our $90 million LCAP is in Goal 2. So Goal 1 and 2 is about 90% of our total LCAP expenditures. This includes social workers, school psychologists, assistant principals, behavior intervention, and other supports for students. Goal 3 is communication and family engagement. This is primarily our Family and Community Resource Center. This is about $2 million within the overall LCAP expenditures for that program. Goals 4, 5, and Goal 6 apply to Sequoia and Creekside, as well as our learning recovery funds. So Goal 4 and 5 are specific to those 2 sites that have equity multiplier funds. And so these supports include, it's about $1.8 million includes supports for counseling as well as academic interventions. And then Goal 6 is learning recovery. These are those one-time funds that are also required to be in our LCAP plan. We have about $2.6 million in learning recovery funds for next fiscal year. Charter schools also follow this process. Charter school plans are approved by the board, and so those were in our consent agenda. They do not require the same public hearing and readings. Our next steps is we will be back on Thursday to approve the LCAP and as well as the budget, and then that will be shared with our county office, who will make any recommendations for adjustments if we need to come back. With that, I'm here for questions.
Okay, any public comment on this item? Any board member comment? No? Okay, so this is a first read item, so we will move on. 11.3, we'll close the hearing there. Sorry. 11.3, public hearing and first read, 2627 VUSD proposed budget. I now open a public hearing to allow for public comment on this item. Mr. Hernandez.
Well, good evening again. So we will switch to the new slide deck. Again, this is a public hearing and first reading for our district budget. There is no action tonight. This is information only. And as we've shared throughout the year, the budget is a reflection of our priorities and how we put resources behind those priorities. And again, as we're continuing to implement our strategic plan, we stay focused on making sure that our resources support student learning, safe and supportive environments, as well as organizational efficiency and effectiveness. This is our agenda, so we'll go through process and timeline. We'll talk about some of the key assumptions. We'll look at our general fund, the revenues and expenditures. We'll look at our multi-year projections, and then we have a couple other items that we'll talk through. So this is where we are in our process. Budgets are, we're typically in multiple years, and this is following the governor's May revision. So after the May revision, we bring back adjustments to the budget. This won't include everything that was included in the governor's May revision. As you might recall, the May revise was a better outlook than what we saw in January. But some of those May revision items are not included in our budget as we're moving forward. Oops. So the key assumptions, as I talked about in the May revision, it did include cost of living adjustment to our local control funding formula. That was higher than what was proposed in January. It was over 4.31%, and so that is included in the budget that we're bringing you tonight. What's not included was the additional one-time funds that were proposed in the May revision. We'll talk about that, and we'll show what the budget would look like with those additions to our budget. It also doesn't include the additional special education funding that's been proposed. That's a pretty significant increase in special ed funding, over a 40% increase proposed for next year. When the state has a final adopted budget, and they will adopt a final budget by June 15th, then we will come back to the board in August with the revision to the budget that will include all of the final actions from the state. Our average daily attendance there of 26,562 is lower than our current year's average daily attendance of what we projected going into this year's budget for 25-26. And so we've built in some of that expected decline into this budget. It does include all of our employee costs for STEP and column and any pension cost. It doesn't include the negotiated agreements that are on tonight or the additional health insurance cost increases. We were still in negotiations, but we will again show a slide with all of these things, with an estimate of all of these things in our budget for us to take a look at. One-time funds, we did include learning recovery, block grant funds. We do not have the student support professional development block grant built into this budget, the new revenues for next year. But we do have the expenditures from one-time funds in this budget. And so when we talk through what the ending balances are for this year, we'll explain how that looks and what it will look like once those are included in the state adopted budget. And then our contributions for special education and routine restricted maintenance are included in this budget. So this is our general fund revenues. On the column on the left is our unrestricted budget. And you can see the local control funding formula makes up the majority of our general fund revenues. About 75% of our revenues come from that state funding source, directly tied to our enrollment and our average daily attendance. And so when we plan for our long-term financial future, we pay close attention to what's happening with our enrollment and the trend. When you look at the LCFF revenues there and other state revenues, that's about 90% of our budget. So we really pay attention to what's happening along this with the state budget. On the expenditure side, same there. You've got unrestricted in the left and restricted in the middle. Our unrestricted, you can see our salaries and benefits related to our staffing costs. We are a people business, and so we invest heavily in our staff. About 82% of our expenditures are salaries and benefits. And you can see that here on this chart, 82% in that salaries and benefits, with about 17% in those other areas, which includes things like contracted services, utilities, and books and supplies. This is our multi-year projection. So that first column on the left is our 26-27 projection. That shows at the bottom there that deficit of about $3.3 million going into this year. This deficit for 25-26 was about $15 million, so you can see the work that was done there to bring that deficit down. Again, this doesn't include the special education revenues, which are not on the unrestricted side of the budget, but will reduce the contributions. And it doesn't include the negotiated increases. I'll show a slide where we've got some of that built in. But you can see based on the better outlook in May that we show potentially a surplus for 27-28 going into that budget, and then again in 28-29. So when we share this with the county, what we're sharing is a positive certification. We are able to meet our reserves and show a positive ending balance in the 3-year projection. On the restricted side for 26-27, you see the deficit there of about $13 million. We have about $9 million in textbook costs for the math adoption, so that is included in that number. It also includes the expenditures for one-time funds where revenues were received in a prior year, but we're showing the expenditures in 26-27, so we're using fund balance. So we have about a $49 million ending fund balance on the restricted side of the budget. So again, even with those deficits, we are able to show, we're able to meet our reserves and maintain a positive ending fund balance. So this shows our ending fund balances along with our available reserves, just over 4%. The additional cost of living adjustment, the 1.44% that's proposed, we have set that aside. And so this shows that even if that didn't come from the state, we would still maintain a positive reserve and a positive ending fund balance and for the 26-27, as well as the next 2 fiscal years. Without that, we'd have a reserve of just over 5.5%. So this is a picture of what the ending fund balances will look like. We've made some estimates here for the additional funding from special education. And we've also included estimates for the results of the negotiated agreements that are on the agenda tonight. So we've seen estimates for this additional special education funding ranging from $340 per student to about $423. The $423 just came out yesterday. This is on the 423 side. So this is maybe a best case scenario. But again, what this shows is that our bottom line, we will still potentially have a deficit for 26-27, but we will come out of that deficit in 27-28 and for 28-29, along with adjustments that we need to make to bring you a balanced budget for next year. For our other restricted funds, most of our other funds have revenues exceeding expenditures. All of them have positive ending fund balances. I wanted to point out Cafeteria Fund, Fund 130. We talked about a project Nutritional Services is doing. They're doing that because they are on a spending plan. They have some balances that they need to spend down. So they're doing one-time projects, equipment, and capital to spend those balances down. And then we also each year have to show that our reserves that we have in excess of our minimum, which is 3%, and our plan for those, and we are just over 3%. So that is, we have a board policy where we'd like to be at about 15%. We know that the cap on reserves will likely be in play for 26-27, so that would be at 10%, but we are still well below that cap. Next steps, the governor and legislature are in negotiations, so they will have a final budget by June 15th, or they don't get paid. And so we expect when we come to the board in July that there will be a final state budget. And again, it will have a 45-day revision in August. This will come back on Thursday also for final approval. With that, any questions?
Okay, is there any public comment on this item? Board member comment, Ms. Gamoyen.
Does it seem, I mean, from what I'm hearing in Sacramento, and I could be wrong, does it seem they've dropped this enrollment as opposed to ADA?
It's not been surfaced anymore. I think you're right. I think it's kind of been set aside.
Okay, any other board member comment? Okay, this is a first read, no action taken, so I will close the public hearing at this point. Moving on to 11.4. Yep.
I'm still here.
Yep. Resolution to approve the expenditure of education protection account funds in accordance with the budget for fiscal year 2026-2027. Mr. Hernandez.
I don't have a presentation for this. Every year, though, we also have to bring to the board in a public meeting how we plan to spend the education protection account funds. These were generated from Prop 30 and Prop 55. It was an additional tax that created the education protection account. And it requires that we have in public session that we share in public session that we are not spending these funds on administrator salaries, and so no monies will go to administrator salaries or other administrative costs. We plan to use these funds to pay for teacher salaries and benefits, and we have about $70 million in EPA funds that we expect for 26-27. This will likely also be on the ballot in November for another extension.
Okay, public comment on this item? Board member comment? No one wants to get technical? Okay. May I have a motion to approve the resolution to approve the expenditure of education protection fund account funds in accordance with the budget for fiscal year 2026-27? Mr. Belt?
Yes.
Okay. Naylor, and then I guess that was you, Paul. Mr. Belt, pardon me. Call for the vote.
Motion carries 5 yes, 2 absent.
Okay. 11.5, public hearing, collective bargaining agreement between Visalia Unified School District and Visalia Unified Teachers Association, VUTA, for 2026-27. Okay, I'll open a public hearing to allow for public comment on this item. And Assistant Superintendent of HRD, Ben Dillon.
Thank you, Board President Odo, members of the board, and Superintendent Shrum. I am encouraged to bring forward to you tonight a tentative agreement that was reached between the district and our Visalia Unified Teachers Association. We are presenting to you tonight the contents of that tentative agreement. Before asking for the board to take action, I would like to thank all members of both bargaining teams who committed extensive time and energy and resource. I appreciate the collaborative nature of our bargaining relationship, as well as the willingness for bargaining members to push on one another and professionally and responsibly challenge assumptions and positions. And I think it makes us better as a district and a collective commitment to do right by people, all in service of doing the best for kids. And so I thank every member of our bargaining team, our VUTA Teachers Union President, Patrick Hemphill, and all of the members of our district teams who put things together in service of those bargaining teams. So thank you everyone for that. At this time, I would ask that the board take action. I would recommend that the board approve the agreement for the 2026 through 2028 school year. So it's a 2-year agreement starting this July 1 through June 30th, 2028.
Any public comment on this item? Board member comment on this item? Okay, then may I have a motion to approve the public hearing collective bargaining agreement between Visalia Unified School District and Visalia Unified Teachers Association, VUTA, for 2026-2027.
So moved.
I'll second.
Moved by Naylor, second by Gaby. Call for the vote.
Motion carries 5 yes, 2 absent.
Okay. 11.6, resolution to establish, let me close the hearing. Closing the hearing. Resolution to establish salary for certificated managers effective July 1, 2026. Presenter, HRD Assistant Superintendent Ben Dillon.
Thank you, Board President. Again, bringing forward to you resolution for salary for certificated managers for the 2026-2027 school year. We sent out information to our certificated managers and our classified managers last week reflecting what we would bring forward to the board this evening. That includes specifically a 2% cost of living adjustment and a $2,000 one-time payment to be made during the course of the school year. I would ask that the board take action to approve what is recommended for the certificated management salary schedule.
Okay. Any public comment on this item? Any board member comment on this item? Okay. May I have a motion to approve the resolution to establish salary for certificated managers effective July 1, 2026?
All motion?
Okay. I'll second. Call for the vote.
Motion carries 5 yes, 2 absent.
11.7, resolution to establish salary for classified managers and confidential employees effective July 1, 2026. Mr. Dillon.
Similarly, we have brought before the board a resolution reflecting the adjustment in salary for the classified managers and confidential employee salary schedule for the 26-27 school year. In the spirit of parity, the cost of living adjustment and the one-time payment are comparable to that which is reflected in the certificated manager salary schedule. And would ask that the board approve the recommendation to move forward.
Okay. Any public comment on this item? Any board member comment on this item? Okay. May I have a motion to approve the resolution to establish salary for classified managers and confidential employees effective July 1, 2026?
So moved.
So moved by Ms. Naylor.
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Belt. Call for the vote.
Motion carries 5 yes, 2 absent.
Okay. 11.8, employment agreement, Assistant Superintendent of Human Resources Development. Our presenter is General Counsel Megan Macy. Let me grab my script here. Let's see, this item is the board's discussion and possible approval of an employment agreement with Assistant Superintendent HRD Benjamin Dillon. Megan Macy, General Counsel of Lozano Smith, will make the presentation.
See, you had it all before the script.
I did, thank you.
Okay. So the Brown Act requires an oral summary of the terms of the agreement, and so I'm going to go through those here. So the term is for 4 years, from July 1st, 2026 through June 30, 2030. For the 26-27 school year, the assistant superintendent shall be placed on step 5 of the salary schedule with a base salary of $282.25 based on the salary schedule that's adopted as part of the action. Per the terms of his existing contract, the salary reflects a step increase for the assistant superintendent for a satisfactory evaluation. In addition, the assistant superintendent's base salary to the base salary, the assistant superintendent shall be entitled to $400 per year if the assistant superintendent possesses a master's degree, or $650 per year if the assistant superintendent possesses a doctoral degree. The assistant superintendent shall participate in the district's total compensation program on the same terms and conditions as all district certificated managers. Since the assistant superintendent participates in the total comp program, the assistant superintendent shall not be entitled to any district contributions towards health and welfare benefits. The assistant superintendent shall receive a term life insurance policy with a death benefit equal to $125,000, and the district will pay the assistant superintendent's dues to participate in up to one professional, educational, or community service organization. Finally, the assistant superintendent shall receive $200 a month as an automobile allowance for the performance of district services within the scope of his employment. This concludes the summary.
Any public comment on this item? Board member comment on this item? Let's call for the motion. Motion to approve.
I'll move.
Mr. Belts first, second by Ms. Gaby. Call for the vote.
Motion carries 5 yes, 2 absent.
Moving on to item 11.9. This item is the board's discussion and possible approval of an employment agreement with Chief Business Officer, Business Services, Nathan Hernandez. Megan Macy, General Counsel of Lozano Smith, will make the presentation.
Like the last item, this item requires an oral summary. The key material terms of the employment agreement are as follows. The term is for 4 years through June 30th, 2030. For the 26-27 school year, the chief business officer shall be placed on step 3 of the salary schedule that's attached to the agreement with a salary of $280,356. In addition to the base salary, the chief business officer shall be entitled to $400 per year if the chief business officer possesses a master's degree, or $650 per year for possession of a doctoral degree. Chief business officer shall receive a term life insurance policy with a death benefit equal to $125,000. The district will pay the chief business officer's dues to participate in up to 1 professional, educational, or community service organization, and the chief business officer shall receive $200 per month as an automobile allowance. This concludes the summary.
Is there any public comment on this item? Board member comment on this item? No. Okay, I move to approve, seconded by?
Second, I'll second.
By Ms. Naylor. Call for the vote.
Motion carries 5 yes, 2 absent.
Okay, item 11.10. This item is the board's discussion and possible approval of an employment agreement with Deputy Superintendent Mark Thompson. Megan Macy, General Counsel of Lozano Smith, will make the very brief presentation.
I'll try to be as brief as possible. Again, the Brown Act requires an oral presentation of the key material terms, which are as follows. The term is for 4 years through June 30th, 2030. For the 26-27 school year, the deputy superintendent shall be placed on step 2 of the salary schedule that's attached to the agreement with a salary of $298,023. In addition, the deputy superintendent's base salary, he shall be entitled to $400 per year for possession of a master's degree, or $650 per year if the deputy superintendent possesses a doctoral degree. The deputy superintendent will participate in the total compensation program on the same terms and conditions as all other district certificated managers. Since the deputy superintendent participates in the total comp program, the deputy superintendent shall not be entitled to district contribution towards health and welfare benefits. The deputy superintendent shall receive a term life insurance policy with a death benefit equal to $125,000. The district will pay his dues to participate in up to 1 professional, educational, or community service organization, and the deputy superintendent shall receive $200 per month as an automobile allowance. This concludes the summary.
Any public comment on this item? Board member comment on this item? Okay, call for a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion.
First by Mr. Belt, second by
I'll second.
Ms. Gaby. Call for the vote.
Motion carries 5 yes, 2 absent.
And the grand finale, employee agreement superintendent. Let's see, this item is the board's discussion and possible approval of an employment agreement with Superintendent Kirk Schrum. Megan Macy, General Counsel of Lozano Smith, will make the presentation.
And as you all are aware of by now, the law requires an oral summary of the material terms, which are as follows. The term is for 4 years through June 30th, 2030. For the 2026-2027 school year, the superintendent shall be placed on step 5 of the superintendent salary schedule with an annual base salary of $382,489 based upon the salary schedule adopted as part of this action. Per the terms of his existing contract, this salary reflects a step increase for the superintendent for a satisfactory evaluation. In addition to the superintendent's base salary, the superintendent shall be entitled to $400 per year if the superintendent possesses a master's degree, or $650 per year if the superintendent possesses a doctoral degree. The superintendent shall participate in the district's total compensation program on the same terms and conditions as all other district certificated managers. Since the superintendent participates in the district's total compensation program, the superintendent shall not be entitled to any contribution towards health and welfare benefits. The superintendent shall receive a term life insurance policy with a death benefit equal to $125,000. The district will pay the superintendent's dues to participate in up to 4 professional, educational, or community service organizations approved by the board. The superintendent shall receive $200 per month as an automobile allowance for the performance of district services within the scope of his employment. This concludes the summary.
Any public comment on this item? Board member comment on this item? No. May I have a motion to approve this item?
I'll motion.
Moved by, first by Ms. Gaby, second
Second.
by Ms. Naylor. Call for the vote.
Motion carries 5 yes, 2 absent.
Moving on, 11.12, revision to the 2026-2027 school calendar. Presenter is Assistant Superintendent, HRD, Ben Dillon.
Thank you, Board President Odo. I've got a few of these, so in the spirit of brevity, I'm going to do my best to start here and just anchor to that. So our 2026-2027 school year calendar is coming back to the board as a revision to reflect adjustments made through bargaining conversations and through the agreement of our calendar committee, which includes representation from both CSEA members, who some of whom are here in the room, and our VUTA membership, as well as district leadership, and would request that the board approve the calendar submitted to you this evening.
Okay, any public comment on this item? Board member comment on this item?
Can I ask what the changes are?
So the changes are specifically to move one professional development day from December to November, and to make adjustments to the parent-teacher conference for our elementary school schedules to reflect the bell schedule adjustments as outlined in the MOU between VUTA and the district.
Okay, any other public or any other board member comment? Okay, seeing none, a call for a motion to approve the revision to the 2026-27 school calendar.
So moved.
Moved by Ms. Gamoyen, second by?
Second.
By Mr. Belt. He's louder than you, Ms. Naylor. Call for the vote.
Motion carries 5 yes, 2 absent.
Okay. 11:13, revision to 2027-28 school calendar. Mr. Dillon.
Ditto. So the 27-28 calendar has the same adjustments, and the revision reflects the adjustments made from the previous year for the same reasons provided by recommendation from the same parties.
Okay. Any public comment on this item? Board member comment on this item? Okay, call for a motion.
I'll motion.
Ms. Katie first and Ms. Naylor loudly second. Call for the vote. Come on.
Here we go. Motion carries 5 yes, 2 absent.
11.14, 2028-29 school calendar. Mr. Dillon.
This is not a revision. This is a general request for approval. Our calendar committee attempts to stay about 2 to 3 years ahead of our current year, and so this is bringing for you the first time the 28-29 school calendar. It reflects no substantive changes from the current calendars that we've brought forward to you previously.
Great. Any public comment on this item? Board member comment on this item? Okay, call for a motion.
So moved.
Moved by Ms. Gamoyen, second by?
I'll second.
By Ms. Gaby. Call for the vote.
Motion carries 5 yes, 2 absent.
Okay, now for something completely different. 11.15, declaration of need for fully qualified educators. Mr. Dillon.
Thank you. Each year, the district has an obligation to bring forward to the board this specific declaration of need for fully qualified educators. The state of California allows for the district to place teachers under specific types of either internships, limited permits, credential waivers, or emergency permits. And in order to do so, the California Teacher Credentialing Commission requires that we bring forward this declaration of need to be adopted by the board. So what I'm bringing forward to you tonight are the declarations for the district at large, as well as Visalia Technical Early College VTech, VCIS, and Charter Homeschool Academy.
Okay, is there any public comment on this item? Board member comment on this item? Okay, may I have a motion to approve the declaration of need for fully qualified educators?
So moved.
Moved by Ms. Gamoyen, second by?
I'll second.
By Mr. Belt. Call for the vote.
Motion carries 5 yes, 2 absent.
And 11.16, warrant list, April 25, 2026, May 29, 2026. May I have a motion to approve the warrant list from April 25, 2026 to May 29, 2026? And I say yes. May I have a second?
I'll second.
Ms. Gaby, call for the vote.
Motion carries 5 yes, 2 absent.
And with that, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you, folks.